up, everybody? How you guys doing today on Wellness Wednesday? You got Coach T Joshua with Fit Mama Margarita here.
Hey!
Today, we're heading up to the spot right now because we're going to do some workouts for you guys, so stay tuned and we'll come back at you. What's up, everybody? Hey man, I was not lying in the beginning when I said exercises today. We are getting right into it. Today, I'm not gonna be doing a lot of this. No physiology, no science, no anatomy and all that crazy stuff, because today I just wanna focus on exercises specifically for you. So, not a lot of talking. Well, that's a lie. There's always gonna be some sort of talking. But what we're doing is getting straight into it. Exercises back to back. There's no specific order. All right, guys, we are starting off with some curtsy lunges right here. Nothing fancy, nothing too crazy, just making sure that your shoulders are nice and tall or proud. You'll hear me say that a lot. And for this exercise, to add intensity, we are going to get a little bit wider in distance, tap or touch that alternating leg, and then, of course, add some speed, eventually turning into some speed skaters. Once again, give me some speed, give me some distance, now you got yourself a workout. Next right here, guys, we have a lateral lunge with a squat. Now, this right here, this first few moments, is not the way I want you to do it. What we need you to do is make sure that your heels are into the ground, toes are pointing up. One good thing I notice is if you can wiggle your toes at the bottom of that squat, then you are in your heels. Now this right here, get that back straight. Now we've got what we need. We can do the squat the right way, good distance apart, shoulders once again nice and tall, getting that lateral lunge. All right, now that we know how to do a squat properly, staying in our heels, let's go to that curtsy and add a squat in between. Guys, we can do so many different things, add variations, squat, and then now look at this. We got a little rotation or a little twist or a little 90 degrees, hop twist, another way to add something in there. So now what we wanna do is we wanna do a little bit of some upper body. Give your bottom, lower extremity a little bit of a break. And so what we're gonna go ahead and do right now is a hollow body. All right, guys, you guys remember 1 or 2 weeks ago we were talking about that form? I'm not gonna go over it. Extend or cat camel, you're back up there, really engaging those glutes, those hams, and those quads, of course. But what we really want is you to stay on those toes. All right, guys, hollow out that body, get that core engaged. After that, I have a single arm adduction push up. So it's really important on this one, guys, that when you bring that side up, you really engage and flex that pec while you rotate that neck facing up. I'm just gonna rotate just a little bit so you can see. As I twist, I'm really flexing and getting that upper pec underneath that armpit is really where you should be feeling it. After that, we got some pop push-ups, guys. All right, your intensity levels can change on speed and distance that you're popping up, but let's be honest, let's digress a bit and go to some modified push-ups. Literally, to get to the progressions I need to do, Supermans and all this other stuff, get that down on your knees. It's amazing what you can do. Okay, after that, guys, I have some diamond push-ups. I don't know why they're diamond. It's like a spade to me. I don't know, but keep those elbows out and keep everything else engaged. Dive bombers, guys. All right, just look at it, research it. There's a lot of cues in here I don't have time to talk to you about, so if you have it specific, message me and I'm gonna make sure that I give you those right cues. Same thing with this chaturanga, guys. You're coming down to a plank, into a sphinx, pushing all the way up, getting on those toes. A little bit more advanced, but once again, guys, I know you can do that. Start on your knees, then gradually walk them toes out. We'll talk about it later. All right, similar to Margarita's hollow body, we've got a plange push up, but my legs, I know my anatomy. My arms are externally rotated again, and I'm actually engaging that serratus as I push up. All right, keep focused on that. We got some archer push-ups after this, guys. These are hard to do. My form is not the best, so we're gonna keep on going, but they can be done modified. All right, guys, like I said, we are not doing this in any specific order. It's not a specific program or anything like that, but since we just did a few exercises on the chest, that big muscle group, I wanna go ahead and focus on the back a little bit. So something nice and simple. I got Margarita down here. She is pronated or facing down, and what she's got is not just a Superman, because that's just boring. We all know how to do Supermans. I've got a flying Superman or a flying penguin side to side. You can raise those elbows up to squeeze those rhomboids and get a little bit more back engagement by making it kind of like a skydiver. Next is my favorite, a lot of you guys know this, eyes wide, T's and W's. It's a variation of that Superman, so we're working that lower back specifically, well as a whole bunch of other exercises in there, or other muscles in there. But you're gonna make that letter I, you're gonna make that letter Y, T, and W, holding for 2, 4, 8, however many seconds. Shortly after, guys, we did this a week or two ago. This right here is a floor squeeze or a back widow. I did this on a hardwood floor. This one right here, I've got Margarita going down on the ground, really forcing and getting her torso up off the ground by squeezing her elbows in together, getting those rhomboids, those muscles in between those scapula or your shoulder blades, really activating. The longer you hold, the more the activation you can feel. This last exercise reminded me what we did a few weeks ago, so we're gonna go ahead and step a few steps back through the doorway and get back on this hardwood floor where we've got a reverse floor fly. Right here, using something very slippery like these towels, really getting those engaged. Shoulders are on fire. That teres major and minor underneath that armpit, that's working nice and good. And then followed after that, we've got a single arm lat pull down or drag. This is also similar to one that we did the other day actually, but doing single arms. Okay, let's head back in. I was talking about hardwood floors. What if we don't have hardwood floors? We got carpets. Let's do this floor fly with books. All right, you guys got the picture. You guys remember those clock push-ups we did a while ago? Here we go, right here. Same thing, much harder. You can tell I'm a little struggler right there, but it's all right. It's gonna be okay. Here we go, use your imagination. We are back to that same exercise that we just did, but I just want to show you an example that we can do it on a carpet using a book or even a porcelain or a paper plate or something like that. And remember those curtsy lunges? Here we go, getting fancy. Make these either half circles or really wide circles. That really takes a lot of control, extremely, extremely hard. All right, guys, so we just did a handful of exercises with that chest, with that back, some leg exercises. Let's get a little bit of core engagement and let's throw down some cardio before we go back to squats and push-ups. So this one right here, you got a downward dog, pike press, or modified pike press to a leg extension donkey kick, and then you're crossing over to a mountain climber, drunken mountain, I don't know. Anyway, this is what you need to know. Really get that leg up there, extending that leg up to the top, engaging those glutes, a little bit of that lower back, and then you're gonna go ahead and cross down, dive in there, get that knee to that opposite elbow, really engage that core, contract those obliques, and then reset each number, and then get to the other side. After that, guys, we got a nice little simple bicycle crunch with an extension at the top. Once again, let's just stay with that opposite limb, hitting hand to toe. Now let's speed it up a bit. We've got some skiers. Some people call these 3-point thrusters. I like to call them skiers, like I'm skiing down the slope, even though I'm a snowboarder, who knows? But hit all 3 points, get as fast as you can, you're getting your heart rate up. Next exercise is a reverse lunge to a high knee. Very simple, take your time. Keep that balance engaged. And by engaged, I really mean keep that core engaged so that balance stays stable. And well, to add progressions, you're gonna add speed, you're going to add plyometrics or get airborne. So once you're feeling confident with that high knee, then we're gonna go ahead and get up in the air. And next is quick feet. You guys have seen them on Any Given Sunday, not the movie, but that would make sense. It would be the movie because that's a football movie, training camp, all that kind of stuff. I'm done talking. Get into an air squat or get into a sit. Get on your toes, nice and light, go as fast as you can. Your quads are going to be on fire, legs engaged, and just really, really make sure, you guys, that you keep your shoulders nice and tall. Be proud, all right? Add a little bit of variation. Switch sides, flip a 90, flip a 180, flip a 360, get crazy with it. High knees, guys, very basic. The only reason why I'm bringing this up because I want to make sure that we do not do high knees like this. I want to make sure that our knees are up. Keep your hands up, 90 degrees or higher. Think like a cat, light on your toes, and get that core engaged to get those knees as high as you can. Reverse lunge, we just talked about it, but a plyo lunge or a split lunge, you guys have seen this right here. I'm just gonna remind you, add speed, add intensity, that definitely gets you going. We got some butt kicks, glute kicks, basic, but you know they work, keep it going. Great for HIIT training. Speed jacks, guys, I love this exercise, it's great. I do it all the time in my classes. It allows, obviously, more speed. You can contract or really work that chest and triceps by pushing your arms together and going up and down as fast as you can. Amazing cardio. Plank jacks, guys, can't go wrong with these ones. Just make sure you don't let your hips sag as you fatigue and make sure you don't stick that butt too high up in the air. Toe taps, oh, I love them. You guys hate them, and that's because I don't have to do them, and I make you guys do them all the time. You guys know I call them typewriters usually because I use whatever modality and I go side to side. So what I would do is go like an old school typewriter, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Try to use that if you can. This next one's a little bit on the funky side. You're gonna go ahead and get a donkey kick or a leg glute extension, kicking that leg all the way up top, getting that glute engaged, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna cross on over, engaging those obliques and that abdominal wall, and then when you're done, you're gonna do a commando, going from an elbow to a straight arm plank and back. So this is a little bit on the tricky side, so actually let's go ahead and digress and go to a level 2 or a starter position, what we would do, and that's just a straight commando. Up, down, up and down, up and down. Level 2 right here, you would just go from straight arm plank to an elbow plank and then adding that crossover. When you're ready, then we get that leg up into the sky. All right, we got a single leg plie air squat. Another one I'm not sure what to name, but pretty much you are into an air seated position. And you wanna make sure those shoulders are nice and tall. Single leg going up and down. You can get fancy, do 2 legs at a time. I call it a plie calf raise. Or if you really wanna get fancy, since you've been paying attention, you can add a jump in there. Or you can add a, what do we call it? Let's call this a jump squat heel tap. I don't know. It gets crazy. It gets crazy. You crazy. Anyway, it's gonna work. This next one is a tricep kick reach. All right, you are gonna go just like this. What I would love for you guys to do is really get those hips up. It's gonna be harder, but it's the right way to do. If that's too hard, lower your hips a bit and go from hand to knee rather than hand to foot. Go hand to knee, and then once you're feeling confident, then get to the top. Next is a nice little T-bone push up or a rotation with the push up, straight arm plank. You guys notice I am not doing what I'm always yelling at you about being on your tippity tip toes for this one, because I am rotating at that top. Make sure you look nice and high. This next one, guy, I call it a quad push up, quad frog push up, because you look like a frog, engaging your quads, I don't know, once again, but hey, this one will take some time. Get your hips nice and low. You're in a bear crawl position, so those knees are gonna be as close to the ground as possible, keeping your knees underneath those hips, and then what you're gonna do is lean forward as you push your chest towards that ground, okay? This is gonna be hard, this is hard, but in time you will get it. Make sure you keep an eye on that neck. Don't forget about Mama Ostrich, don't drop that egg. All right, once you start getting this, I want you to actually bring your elbows in. Notice this? Now it gets hard. Bring those elbows in. Wide push up or a single arm wide push up. We've seen them before, I just had to add them in there because next is a spider push up, Spider-Man push up, spider crawl push up. My variation, I am not keeping my hands still on the ground. I am actually overextending above my head. That way when I do push, I also contract those obliques, get a little bit more into it. Spider crawl, venom push up, I don't know. But this is what we're going with right here. Before we can get to that level, Marguerite is working on that switch, that plyo. That works just as well. Next is a Pikes Press push up or an overhead Pikes Press. We're working those shoulders a little bit more. I want you guys to get those glutes really high up in the air. All right, make sure the top of the head hits there, just like that, and don't let that forehead hit there. Elevated, just like so, a lot harder. There's another progression right there, guys. Make sure to breathe. All right, you guys had to throw that in there. You guys know all about those push-ups. We've got an incline push-ups, hand positions. They can change throughout. We'll talk about hand positions for push-ups in another episode, but also decline push-up. Make sure that you keep your core engaged. Your toes are not gonna be able to be as straight depending on your surface, but keep that neck nice and neutral. Now we got some good old classic tricep dips. Remember I said last time, guys, remember to actually, if you have a shoulder impingement or some issues right there, to externally rotate those shoulders, keep that back as flat as you can towards that, whatever you're using, and, well, to add intensity, bring those legs out. You wanna get fancier? Get a single leg. If you wanna have fun, there you go. Throw yourself on a little elevation that once again makes it more complicated, and if that's still not enough, give me a single leg. Can't go wrong. Actually, you can. Be careful. Next is the Bulgarian split squat, or some of you know it as the elevated split squat. This will take some time, this will take some practice. Make sure those toes are there. You keep that knee nice and lined up with that heel, and stay in those heels. If you want to get a little fancier, move that foot over a little bit more inside, and now we've got a curtsy Bulgarian split squat, or curtsy elevated lunge, or Bulgarian curtsy. Yeah, that's a Bulgarian curtsy. It's a new one. Next is a single leg elevated glute bridge. Now, this is not an easy one to do, so take your time. We're gonna actually do this progression backwards. What Margarita has right here is keeping her heels up and one leg at a time. Make it a little bit easier, 2 legs at a time. This is still pretty hard, I understand, or our back is kind of getting fired up and it's not at that strength quite yet, then just get on the ground. What I have next, I call Dolphins. I love doing this all the time with a stability ball. Not today, but instead we're gonna grab a chair, we're gonna hold on nice and tight, we're gonna really engage that lower back, glutes, and hamstrings. Raise it all the way up. Try to keep your legs at least 90 degrees, bringing your heels to the heavens, and well, switch it up, single leg, add that back leg, get creative. Speaking of creativity, guys, what we have next right here, we don't even know. It just went with it, we went with it, and so hey, we know it's activating the right muscles, we know it's doing something that's not detrimental to our health, so we're gonna keep going at it. All right, let's get off the chair for just a few moments because I need to show you our level 1 of a leg raise right here. Very simple. Oh, I can't wait till we add resistance band, guys. Oh my goodness, or even mini bands. You can do that if you like. All right, get on a single leg. It makes it a little bit harder. Let's add elevation and a dip. We got combos now, getting those oblique crunch, getting that leg, and then even more, let's throw that hand up in the air, add a little bit of balance, instability for balance and core strength. Our next exercise, even though it looks similar to this last one, we're actually working the opposite muscle. We're actually working the adductor. So since we're adding to our body, we're working those inner thigh muscles right here. All right, really engaging that core to keep those obliques nice and straight. And well, there's not a lot of intense or modification you can do right here to make it easier or harder. It's straight up hard. You guys know what a mountain climber is. If not, here's a quick little reminder because what I want to get into next is an elevated mountain climber. Now, you hear me say drunken mountain climbers or drunken a lot of this or that. That's because we're actually rotating that opposite knee to the opposite elbow. So when we do our abs or when we do a program and I say drunken, I mean twist. Do that little twisty. So an elevated drunken mountain climber is what we got here. Next right here, since we've got the chair out, we're gonna go ahead and go over and side to side. A little bit of rainbow wink. Now, rainbow wink, what kind of name is that? I don't know, but I'm getting creative. These in and outs, I don't know. Get creative is what I'm getting at, guys. If you know that it's not hurting you in a negative way or detrimental to your health, you're feeling that activation, that contraction, whatever it may be, go for it. Have fun with this. Next is a 4-point plank because, well, you've got a plank and you've got 4 points you want to hit. Make sure you hit those shoulders, waist, then you've got those knees, and last but not least, those feetsies of yours. Make sure that when you get to those left and right sides that you're tapping, you're really keeping that core engaged because I don't want that swaying left and right of those hips. When you get to those feetsies of yours, really get those hips high up in the air, get that glute engaged and that abdominal wall nice and contracted. Alrighty, guys. So, much as I want to keep giving you guys all this information and content, I have to save it for another time. Lucky for you, we don't have to wait till next Wednesday because this Friday we're actually going to do a core workout. So, what does that mean? It means we still have our Wellness Wednesdays, but now we're going to add Fridays workouts. Every Friday is going to be a different workout. We'll talk more about that when we get to there. So, until we get there, you guys have a beautiful day. Stay healthy, stay beautiful, stay safe, and make good choices. I don't know. Don't tell me how to live. Talk to you guys later.